With the cost of living hitting all-time highs, it's not enough just to earn more money. You have to look and actively think about ways that you can cut your expenses, including subscription costs. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at 18 expenses that people are starting to cut. And I'm going to share with you the ones that I have already cut. So it was pretty neat to look through this list of the expenses that we can cut. First one on this list is cable television. Now, when I had Xfinity for cable television and also home internet, we cut the cord. That is right. We got rid of our cable television. It's a little bit of an adjustment period, but this saved us $189 a month. Now, I think of having the ability and having the power to invest $189 a month, even taking that money and putting it towards bills, putting it towards debt, you can save a ton of money in a 12-month period or accumulate wealth going through that investing aspect. Second one we look at, and this is where a lot of people have started cutting, is concert tickets. Concert tickets used to be fun. It used to be very enjoyable. Concert tickets have skyrocketed. If you've looked at Taylor Swift, if you looked at a couple of these, due to the fees, due to the resellers, due to VIP packages, everything that you've seen, you could go ahead and see some local gigs. You could do something more local. And a lot of times the seats just get absorbently expensive, meaning that we're pricing a lot of people out of sporting events. Even last time we went to a sporting event, to get a drink was around $15. Not only parking, if you were here around when the NFL draft was, parking was north of $50 a parking spot. That is right. They were charging $50 a parking spot. Not only the tickets to go to Lions games, which are in excess of $1,000 to $5,000, $10,000, depending on where you want to sit. Number three, we're talking about movie theaters. Movie theaters, again, astronomically have increased in expenses. We went and seen a movie for a family of four. That is right, only four individuals. You get the tickets, you get some popcorn, you get some drinks. Guess what? You just dropped $80 going to the movie, which is kind of crazy. It is really short of highway robbery when you think about it. Now, with the home viewing options nowadays, even thinking of the savings you can get, most of the movies, including the ones that are currently at the movies, are available to purchase through Amazon and a couple other subscribers, meaning that you can make your own popcorn, which again is going to save a lot of money, but you can pay and buy the movie in its entirety online. And again, we do this through Amazon versus going there and seeing it. Now, to buy the movie, it was $24.99, but still, I'm not dropping $80 by going to the movies, which I know there is an experience, but that experience does come with a big price tag. Next one we look at this list is gym memberships. Now, a lot of people are adopting a lot of healthier lifestyles. The cost of gym memberships are huge. We're talking, hundreds of dollars a month if you want a gym. Luckily, with the rise of home workout equipment, we have YouTube, fitness channels online, and also a lot of outdoor activities, including a lot of local places. We do have a community center that is $20 a month. They have all the equipment of a traditional gym, so definitely looking at some alternatives versus paying that high price tag at a gym. Number five, we look at designer handbags and designer clothing. Overall, it seems like it is a problem that we've created in ourselves. But with these costs, we have seen 5x, 10x, 20x for designer handbags, meaning that the numbers have soared, and it is kind of astronomical if you're looking just to keep up with the Joneses and think of more of the functionality aspect than kind of the fashion aspect, and where can you cut some of these costs. Number six, we look at organic groceries. Now, for a lot of people, organic was something that was really a big movement. But when you start looking at the cost of organic over conventional food, it seems like you're going to have to be a lot more cognizant of the price tag that you're paying. We have seen items for organic being 4, 5x what a normal item is, which ultimately it is kind of a cost scenario where if you're trying to cut some money out of your budget, if you're looking to save a little bit on your grocery bill, it is a perfect place. I know as much as I want to eat organic and eat a lot healthier, the extra cost can really weigh down your entire budget without much of a nutritious difference. Number seven is something that we have been guilty of. That is subscription boxes. So some people do love doing the subscription boxes, but again, it comes with a big price tag for a novelty thing. Once you do collect up some of the recipes, which you can do for free online, you can go ahead and buy and build these boxes yourself. And of course, you're not going to have to worry about the prices. You're not going to have to worry about the delivery fee. A lot of them pull you in with kind of a free meal or two or three. We've seen it with a lot of different places. And I used to see them everywhere. And it seems like this process is really streamlined to companies that are offering these subscription boxes. And also, when you look at the ingredients that are on your list, there's a lot of companies that offer free delivery services, including locally here we have Kroger that will deliver your groceries over a certain price tag for free, meaning that you just have to put the ingredients together. I know they're not measured out and weighed, but ultimately you put the ingredients together yourself and you have a meal for a much cheaper price tag. This is another one that we made a big switch on. This is branded coffee. When you think of Starbucks, when you think of Big B, when you think of a lot of different coffee shops, it adds up very quickly when you're getting the coffee. We're talking 5, 7, 12. Even for us, if we're getting two coffees out at Starbucks, you're talking about $12, $13. This is where we got a machine and we are doing the home brewing with the exact same coffee. We're getting the Starbucks coffee, we're getting the Illy coffee, making sure that we're using high quality coffee. However, when we start doing the pods through our Illy machine, it costs about 50 cents for a cup of coffee. We can go ahead and add the rest of the fancy stuff on there, including the foam, the latte machine, cappuccinos, everything like that. And of course, the total cost out the door is about $2 when we put everything in there versus paying $7 at Starbucks. One thing that hits really hard when it comes to your budget is technology, including smartphones. If you look at the most recent smartphones, they are running about $1,500. That is right. Is it necessary for individuals to go from, let's say, an iPhone 14 to an iPhone 15 with not much of a difference in the technology? Now, of course, years ago, it was vital to get the newest technology because of all the advancements with it. But now it seems like a lot of the older models are still do work incredibly well. Paying on it, and this is another part where I feel like the monthly budget is kind of taking a hit, is what they do is they do it over 24 months, 36 months, 48 months. So you are paying it for a multitude of years to have a smartphone, and the chances are by the time you pay that smartphone off, the technology that you have in your hand is already outdated. And when you think that grocery store prices are pretty bad, think of dining out. Majority of restaurants have increased the prices 20 to 30%, which is kind of incredible to think. Dining out can absolutely break the bank, especially if you're doing it a multitude of weeks. Even looking on the fast food scene, where if you look at McDonald's, you look at Taco Bell, you look at some of the fast food restaurants are doing the exact same. They're trying to come up with kind of an affordable menu or a budget-friendly menu because they know a lot of people cannot afford the $12 per person when you're going out to eat. If you're going to a restaurant, like I said, it is exponentially expensive. But again, if you're planning it and putting it in your budget, it is well worth it to do it every now and then. Treat yourself, enjoy a good meal out to eat, relax. But overall, if you're doing it on a regular basis, it is super expensive. When I went to school years ago, this is something that we looked at it started to phase out, which was textbooks. I had to purchase a textbook for my accounting class. It was $485. That is right, $500 for the textbook. Went to a community college. It was more than the class that I took at the community college to buy the textbooks. Now, at this point, used books, rental, digital version, there is a lot of alternatives when it comes to getting textbooks, meaning you don't have to finish or you don't have to buy those textbooks themselves because there are a lot of alternative options to make it much cheaper on your budget. Working in the financial industry, next one we look at is wedding costs. A lot of people are spending tens of thousands of dollars in weddings. And of course, a lot of couples are opting for a much smaller venue, more intimate ceremonies, and also cost cutting, doing their equipment and doing a lot of the elopements that they do, really cutting the cost of weddings. I have seen individuals that come in and are borrowing $10, $20, $30,000 for one single day of a wedding. As much as I love weddings, what is the point of dropping $30,000 on a single day to have your friends and family there? And then of course, be stuck with the debt for the next 5 years of your marriage. Number 12 on this list looks at real estate. Now, home prices in this area have absolutely skyrocketed, and you couple those with the higher interest rates around 7%, most people are priced out of the housing market in their entirety. This is the reason why a lot of people are really rethinking the traditional dream of the American dream of having, the white picket fence. A lot of people are opting for renting or moving or, going in and actually renting a place with multiple individuals. There's a lot of different ways to reduce your costs. Again, this could be even a temporary solution till you get your budget in line, till you get enough money for the down payment for the house. And of course, waiting until home prices come down and the interest rates for those homes come down as well. Number 13 on this list is fashion trends. Now, of course, when you think of fashion and when you think of being fashion forward, it comes with a very hidden and high cost when you want to think about what you want to wear. Now, overall, a lot of people are getting away from the designer labels. We're seeing them having a lot of struggle. The rise of kind of the cheaper stores, when you look at the Temu, when you look at the Shein, when you're looking at a lot of different companies that offer fashion forward products, you don't have to spend as much money as we once did once upon a time, but now you can get a lot of the fashion forward items and change your wardrobe every single season, which I do not recommend. And of course, the frugal mind in me says buy all the basics, wear the basics, and guess what? They are never going to go out of style. When you look at having something for 3 to 5 years, even if I spend a little bit more money for that item, I am going to use it for an extended amount of time. When we get into number 14, it is health insurance. Now, rising premium costs and also the cost of meeting your deductibles has literally risen every single year. Used to be around $1,500, then it went up to $2,000, $2,500. Now the deductible for my health insurance is $3,500, which means I have to supplement the healthcare that I do possess with my HSA account because we have a high deductible healthcare plan. This is a part where if the health insurance is not employer provided, so if you're not getting it through your company, and even if you are, making sure you're in the right plan for the coverage that you need, also being able to shop the market and see if you can find your insurance anywhere else if it is not provided or supplemented from your employer. The next one is one that goes hand in hand with our cable television, which is managing your streaming services. Now, for a lot of people, they might cut the cord with cable, meaning they're going to pick up some streaming services. And of course, again, when you look at what is eating into your budget, you're talking, $7 a month, $9 a month, $14 a month. When you look at the ability to have Disney and Hulu and Apple TV and Max and everything else, you have to make sure your streaming services are not eclipsing what you are actually paying for cable, because I have seen that a lot of times that it is more expensive and people find that they're buying a lot of streaming services that they're actually not using or not watching, or it's been a considerable amount of time since they've actually used that service, meaning they're paying for something essentially that they're not using at all. And of course, the next one we look at is airline tickets. Now, if you look at the fees and the prices for airline tickets, it is incredible. A lot of people are staying a lot more local. Even us for vacation this year, we opted to stay local. So we're actually going up to Port Austin in Michigan. Staying local not only gives us the ability to use our current vehicles that we own to drive, but also renting a place is substantially cheaper than flying an airline. Now, of course, it is good to go on trips. It's good to go on vacations. It's good to step away from your regular day-to-day, but it does come with a really big price tag. This, again, is the place where budgeting is going to come in, saving the money to buy the tickets, knowing exactly what they are, and then looking out for deals that you can actually get on those airline tickets are going to make a really big difference. And of course, we do look at education. When you look at the steep rise in education and college tuition, it is kind of incredible. A lot of people are starting to do a lot more trade schools. We're seeing online schools. We're seeing a lot of certification programs. We're also seeing a lot of educational programs that are offered on the community college level that can also go into those larger universities without the big price tag. And also a lot of Gen Zers are opting out of college at all, which I really hate to say that, but a lot of people are going and just opting out of that college at all, which I feel like there needs to be some college depending on what you want to do. And ultimately, if there's something you want to do, college might be the option, but how can you go and how can you find it at a much cheaper price tag? All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. The 18 expenses that middle-class Americans are cutting completely out of their budget. I really hope it was an eye-opening experience. For me, like I said, it's not enough to just earn more money. The ability to earn more money can always be there if you have a side hustle, if you have a side job, but in the middle part or in kind of the expense category, if you can earn more money, if you can cut back on some more expenses, you're going to be left with some money over at the end of the month, which again can go into the debt repayment. It can go right into the investment strategies. There's a lot you can do when you're not living outside of your means and making sure that you are staying and actually living within your means. That way you have money left over at the end of the month.